Okay, we're ready? Why is everybody looking at me?
Because you're starting.
Hello, and well.
Poquito podcast. Poquito podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Poquito podcast. I'm Dominic Angel. With me, we got the boys. We got
Ricky Macias.
And now on camera,
Josh
people
the
hate him
Amer-
already. Josh the American, shout out. How you feeling, Josh?
Nice and awkward.
Yeah? How does it feel being on camera?
Awkward.
Well, we need to get our act together because we have podcast royalty
Yeah, that's true.
with us right now. What is it called? Spearhead. No, what is it called? Freaking, I don't know words. A trailblazer
There we go.
in the podcast world. A trendsetter.
You were going to call me a spearhead in the podcast world.
I was finding it. I was looking for it. I knew that wasn't right.
He knew it was something Native American related.
Trailblazer. Oh.
Proceed.
A wind talker.
If you
You guys
will.
remember that movie?
A pod talker.
You mean code talkers?
Everybody, welcome Mala Muñoz to the podcast. What did you say?
Code talkers
What's
or
that?
whatever? Maybe I thought that was that.
Was it wind talkers? Is it code talkers?
I forget.
Wind
No, it's
talkers?
wind talkers.
It's
They
wind
were
talkers.
code. They
The
were
Navajo?
the Navajo. Nicolas Cage was in that movie.
Yes.
The guy from Joe Dirt was in that movie. He was the Native American.
Deer tag?
David Spade?
Oh,
David
it's
Spade
just
was
David
in
Spade
Code
speaking
Talkers.
Navajo. That's like a Chris Farley movie that never happened.
Welcome, Mala Muñoz.
Thank you for having me.
Here
Thank
to
you,
show us how
boys.
it's done.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the invitation. I appreciate the hospitality. And it's an honor.
Yeah.
It's about time also. You
Well,
haven't had me on since
we
the other-
asked you on
the other
before several months ago, and you, unforeseen circumstances, couldn't make it.
Well, I'm happy to be here today.
So I'm also happy to have you. I also agree that it's been a long time coming.
Yes.
And it's about time.
It's about time. Happy to check in and share some stories and maybe some advice. I think you could use a little help, actually. I'm here to help. There's a lot of turmoil behind the scenes of this podcast.
Things are smooth sailing.
People don't know
I'll
that.
have you know.
There's a lot of conflict. There's like camps. There's coups. There's
There's only 4 of us.
I know, I was like, there's only 4 of us.
I was like, yeah,
They're
Ryan's
forming
ahead.
legions
Yeah.
behind me.
no. You guys are very nice boys. You're running a very smooth operation. I'm very impressed.
Thank you. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. I need everybody that's at home to know that we're all really good friends, and we were fucking shucking and jiving before the camera started rolling. We had some hot goss.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some big
Yeah.
laughs.
We were learning about Mala,
Yeah.
learning about her experience. So Mala has a viral joke. You're very popular with like a certain type of Latino crowd.
Yeah. A lot of like Latina feminists who like went to Berkeley. There's a lot of that. But then I also have like some jokes about like gluten-free cholos and like things like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of the homies, a lot of those fools like really like me. They really fuck with me. And like they'll sometimes quote my jokes back to me. Can
Yeah,
I talk
you-
about them?
Yeah, you had a thing. You were at the Laugh Factory and you had a joke go viral, where you said that you attract a lot of cholos because you.
That's not the joke. I can say it. I'll tell the joke. I'll tell the joke. That's not how it goes. No, the thing is like I have this joke where I talk about like I like to meet men in person. Like I don't like the apps. So when I want to like meet a new man and like have a new boyfriend, I'll go and just like roller skate in front of Homeboy Industries. And I like to go on the tattoo removal days. Because I feel like if the homies are getting their tattoos removed, they're making more room for my name. You know? If I'm out of town, there's no Homeboy Industries. That's a very LA thing. If I'm out of town, like I'll find the nearest Victory Outreach. They're there. I don't mind, 1, 2 felonies, gun stuff, car stuff, gun in the car stuff. I'm okay with that, reformed through a program, maybe is a professor at a local community college, of Chicano studies. That's my type of guy. That's my vibe.
Are you getting hit up in the DMs?
They're not really on Instagram like that. They're not. They state their intentions in person. They're very vocal and they're very upfront and like, God love them.
Mijo, can I talk to you for a second? A lot of that.
No, just like I've had. Okay, at Chatterbox actually, one of my first times going up for the open mic, I was like, to kind of talking about this stuff because. At one time, I actually like applied to be a social worker at Homeboy Industries years ago.
Right.
When I was like fresh out of college, I was just applying to tons of like nonprofits, and I knew people who worked at Homeboy Industries, and like as social workers, as case managers, what have you. And so then I applied, and I made it through a couple rounds. And my mom was very much like, "You're too young to work there, and you can't work there because I'm like, moms are always like, they're all gonna fall in love with you, and then it's like you're gonna be involved in gang life, and it's gonna be so dangerous, and you're gonna go to prison." Like she's spiraling, and I'm like, "Mom, like don't judge them. You don't know them. How dare you?
Do you think your name would still be Mala if you chose that lifestyle?
Oh God. It would be something else. I think actually, you know what? People used to tell me that like the way that I smile, like my big teeth, my big mouth, that I remind them of Stitch. And so I actually think I would go like more that route, like a
Stitch?
cartoon. Yeah, like Stitch, like from Lilo and Stitch.
Dude, Stitch is 626, and I was like, hell yeah, dude, SGV all day.
SGV. And this is the thing too. People are like, oh, like, well, what do you know about the homies? Like, what do you know about them? Like you sound like you went to private school in Pasadena, And that is true. I went to private school in Pasadena, but like that's why I really like hood dudes because I feel like they balance me out, And like I also talk about this on stage, like I really don't like you can't shoot your shot at me unless you've been shot at. You know what I mean? It's not for me. Like if I can't spend a romantic night in caressing your bullet holes, move it along, keep it pushing.
Wow, you really want to be the Selma Hayek to Antonio Banderas, huh?
100%. One time at Chatterbox early on, and I was like at an open mic, and I was like talking about all this stuff that I'm talking about here, right? And then this tatted up cholo fool with a big 626 on the back of his head, he's like, "Hey, let me buy you a shot." Like he loved it. He loved me. They loved me.
He bought you a shot and what?
I was waiting for the joke. I saw the joke. What happened to it?
I don't know what happened to it. I got lost in your eyes for a second. As soon as I looked at you, I was like, what was I about to say?
Bought you a shot. Something about getting shot. I thought there was going to be a shot joke.
I think he was like lost in your eyes because he was picturing the 626 on the back,
back
of your head.
That's crazy. Tattoos on your head is insane.
I think they're kind of cute.
It's funny. I never expected someone to call it cute.
I would
think people would say it's hot or scary, but cute. That's interesting.
I like to be a little scared. Like if I'm not a little afraid of you, like what's the point, Adrenaline is just like another, it's like, like love is just like a release of hormones and chemicals from your brain and your like pituitary glands and shit. Like adrenaline is something, it's like just another rush of emotions.
You can go to Six Flags. You don't have to date a criminal.
Or stab needles into your skull.
The rationalization is strong, huh?
So anyways, what about you guys?
Not dating gang members.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not currently dating. I'm in between boyfriends currently. So,
okay. I mean, the only time I've dated someone that dangerous was a woman that was older than me, and she showed me a knife the first time we hung out.
Why?
So, you ever done that moment in dating where you like start to open up with each other? Like, oh, so like, what's like your past, like what mistakes have you made kind of energy? Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, one time like I took too long to break up with a girlfriend. I feel kind of bad about that. She's like, oh, that's it? And I was like, oh, I thought that was bad. And I was like, what about you? She's like, well, I kind of sort of stabbed an ex-boyfriend one time.
Yikes.
Kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of.
She just poked him. She poked him.
And, I'm inclined to believe that maybe the man deserved it. I was like, why? And she deflected. And she's like, well, technically I've stabbed 2.
Oh, Ricky.
And she's like, but it was only like a little, it only went in like this much, like just a little bit.
She's like,
just
you
a
see
poke.
this?
She knows what she's doing.
And she reached across me. She's like, you want to see the knife? And I was like, no. Like, and she went to grab the knife and she flips it open and it's one of those box cutters from Home Depot.
Holy
And I was like, this would be a really bad time to mansplain that that's a box cutter.
That's not a knife. Listen,
Wow.
if there's one thing Mexican men know, it's warehouse equipment.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a box cutter.
It's blue and it's my favorite color, but
It was
that's
one
not
of
a
those
knife.
U-line ones that this is so too deep of a cut.
No, you're right.
But they don't know a homicidal bitch when they see one. That's wild.
Yeah.
So she likes to cut fools. That's her thing.
Yeah, she warned me and I
She
listened.
warned you. Did you see her again?
No.
Cut her out of my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the real deep cut.
The real deep cut is the emotional ones that hurt the most.
The first cut is the deepest. Classic song. Just thought I'd throw it out there.
Nice.
I went on a hot streak. I'm a typical like loser boyfriend. I was
Boyfriend?
Anyway, that's the show, guys. I'll see you later. We gotta me and Josh got some stuff we gotta handle.
Just fight for it.
No, I mean I was a stand-up comic. I didn't have a car for a while, so I was taking the bus. But I went through a series of like dating people that it was like a UN staffer, a freaking physician's assistant, and an architect. And like I was dating this architect, and I was going to the Pack. They used to have a midnight mic on Mondays, and I missed the bus that I needed to. And I was telling her a story about like I missed the bus was late and I had to run to the thing and I didn't even get to go up. And then the next day she was like, it seems like you're still getting your shit together. So
She was an architect?
she's an architect.
What'd she build?
Dude, she said the craziest thing. I was dating an architect. She said like the coolest thing I've ever heard. We went back to her place. She had a 2-story, 2-bedroom apartment. She lived alone. It was in a nice neighborhood in LA. And she was telling me that like when she got the place, it was because she used to have a roommate and she needed a quick place to live real fast. And that somebody offered this to her, but it was way too much money. But it was like cool, like a temporary place. And so she started living there. And then she was like, after a few months, she really liked it. So she's like, I want to keep this place. And then she's like, but I need to make more money. So then I just did.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
that's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
That's capitalism.
She built a building?
That's a job.
She built it.
She mostly houses. She would like design houses, or she worked for a firm where she would like help design stuff. Like she would do like consultations, but then also she like designed someone's house.
Interesting.
Dominic, where did you meet the UN?
Bumble. There's a lot of professional women on Bumble.
And how did you just lied about what you did?
No, I was honest.
Artist. Starving artist. Emphasis on starving.
Well,
Yeah.
you heard Mala a bit ago. She likes men that balance her out.
Bruh, it's a thing.
Yeah,
true.
they can't have too much success in their
That's
lives. They need a
hilarious.
project.
It's kind of facts, kind of big facts for sure.
Yeah, I'm ready to be someone's passion project.
Someone's catalyst in their life.
yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Ladies like a fixer upper.
She's like,
They like a before and after picture, you know.
I have been told I look like a straight chihuahua. So
Is this why I can't get a date?
But is that so? You like professional women specifically? You don't. So you don't. Do you date other artists?
I date other artists. I'm very attracted to capable women. That's how I describe them.
Capable of what?
hurting him.
Just like very like like I was telling you before, I dated a social worker, and I thought this was crazy. Josh was not impressed, but she used to drink hot coffee straight out the pot. Like she was like ready for business at all times.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy low standard.
She drinks black coffee.
Right
hot.
out the pot. Yeah, hot. Out of a pot.
It's a power move.
Yeah. For sure. She needs that caffeine. She needs it
Yeah.
to like handle all the things that she's handling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, ideally, the woman that I'm with will not have any time for me.
Ah,
Yeah.
you want to be neglected a little bit.
You know, I like to yearn. I'm big on yearning.
Gross.
Yeah.
Keep that to yourself.
Do you see yourself in that comment or?
Oh, for sure.
Josh, so okay, now we've heard Dominic. Tell us a little bit about you and your type and your platforms, and are you on the apps? Who are you dating? Were you not dating?
No, I'm not dating. I haven't been dating for like a year. But I'm not on any platforms. I hate dating apps and stuff.
Why don't you start with this platform?
Speak to the people. Speak to the women.
No, that's crazy.
Subscribe to the Patreon for a chance to date Josh.
Use my power to get a date. No, that's gross.
With a fan.
No, that's weird. That'd be the weirdest.
They
thing.
all hate him
I don't
so
think
far.
I have a fan. Yeah.
But like, you know what? Sometimes like the villains are like the hottest ones. Like everybody like kind of wants to fuck Jafar. You know what I mean?
Jafar's a gay icon.
Yes, women also want to fuck gay icons all the time. Freddie
Yeah.
Mercury, Prince.
Have you tried that?
Fucking a gay icon?
Dressing
No,
up
no,
like
being a
Jafar.
gay-
being a gay icon.
Being a gay
villain, a villain who is also a gay icon.
I don't think I have good enough eyebrows.
You know,
Bad joke.
That's probably.
Sorry.
I was like weirdly.
it
the
was a
gayest-
very good joke that we were.
I was like,
We were
weirdly
stunned.
the most accurately gay thing you've ever said, and I was like blown away by that.
Icon.
That's the thing that's holding him back.
Okay, wait a second. Like, okay, so for example, George Santos is a current villain / gay icon.
Yeah. That guy's got courage. I was just learning about him earlier. I don't follow too much politics,
Right.
So I was learning about some of the stuff he did, and I was like, "Damn, this fool didn't give a fuck. This fool
Yeah.
didn't give a fuck."
Literally
He went
Joanne
for
the
it.
scammer. Like,
Yes, IRL.
It's pretty crazy. I was like, "You could just do that?
Have good
You
eyebrows.
could just have a great time and be in politics."
You could just have fun.
Yeah, that fool parties.
He's doing like a reverse Trump. Trump went from like reality TV, pop culture to public office. George Santos went public office. Now he's going to have a reality. He's going to have a show. He's becoming a pop culture phenomenon. All the cameos on TikTok are bonkers. I mean, there's drag queens doing George Santos drag. Bowen Yang is doing George Santos. Like,
Wow.
it's a thing.
Some of the stuff he said is crazy. He said his grandparents survived the Holocaust.
He's
Did
completely.
they?
No, he's not Jewish. I was laughing about it. I was like, my grandma survived the Holocaust too. She was in Ecuador.
Oh man.
So back to your dating, Josh. So if you're not on Bumble, then where are you?
I'm just in these streets. No, I'm actually not. I just haven't been dating. I just been doing the solo thing.
He's just been crushing on every woman he meets.
Aw.
But I've been dating me.
That's cute.
Someone in a cafe told me to do that. And I thought it sounded ridiculous.
Someone
I
in
was
a
like, that's just being
cafe.
alone. They were like, you got to date yourself. I was like, that's just being alone. Just go out alone. So I don't know.
Wait,
So I go out alone.
So someone in a cafe told you that?
Yeah, I work in an office that's above a coffee shop.
oh, I thought
And
it was one
so-
of your Bumble dates.
No, I just go up to strangers and talk. No. I actually do though. I'll sit there and talk with a few people and we just get in conversations. And somebody was like, oh, you got to start dating yourself to find out what you like or some nonsense.
I like being with women.
Yeah, I like being with other people. Don't you get it?
Yeah.
Well, now you're ready. You ready to get out there, huh?
Turns out you just like going to concerts and eating good food.
Yeah.
You're a simple
yeah,
guy.
That's what I found out. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Dating sucks. I'm here for the meals.
It can suck. It can suck real hard. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'd rather just like be friends with people and just hang out and have fun.
Yeah, this
Dating's like
wasn't
pressure.
What?
There's like pressure in dating that I don't like. You know me, I like being in my comfort zone 100% of the time. I don't like it being awkward.
Josh has said that he will never leave his comfort zone.
Yeah, I wouldn't if I didn't have
The thing that he's most passionate about is that he will not be uncomfortable.
I think that I believe in gluttony. I think that this should be a max comfortable life.
You're hedonistic.
Feel this?
You see these chords?
Look what I'm wearing. Look what you're wearing.
You do definitely give like you give cozy energy. Like you give comfy cozy for sure.
Everyone watching's like, what?
I think you give very
I'm on edge just looking at him.
Yeah.
in person very comfy cozy. I'm sure you've heard, oh, you're just a big teddy bear.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
My grandma will tell me. No, I've heard that before for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
From the football players in high school.
Like you're somebody that like a baby would want to take a nap on. You know what I mean?
A baby?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that. That's crazy.
You've never had a little baby take a nap on your chest?
No, I'm not. I don't get touch people's kids. They'll be like, touch my kid. I'll be like, no thanks.
Who's saying touch my kid?
Well, then they like hold my kid or spend time in this room where there's also children. I'm like, I'm rated R. I'm smoking weed. I'm drinking. I don't want to be around my kids. I'm talking about how God's not real.
Every time somebody,
you don't want me around your kid.
every time somebody it doesn't happen. It's not like this happens all the time. But whenever somebody's like tried to hand me a baby,
do people try and hand you babies, Dominic?
People think that I am like a caring person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, no, like I think it's great and all. But I don't want to crush it or anything.
That's what. Okay,
Drop
so
this thing.
Every time somebody's gonna hand me a baby, I think about this story. So we used to live in these apartments in Covina, and somebody in the apartment complex had baby hamsters. So they gave one to my older brother Anthony, and he was carrying it home, and then he dropped it and stepped on its head.
No.
And it died. I don't want to do that to a baby.
That's crazy.
To a human baby.
To a human baby? Are you kidding me?
He did that on purpose?
No.
No,
sure?
that's just how hamsters die. Hamsters never have a normal death.
Right.
God.
Right.
You stepped on it.
I did it.
You did. You killed it.
I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
Oh my God, traumatic. We might cut that out.
Infanticide. Is that what it's
Yeah,
called when you kill
infanticide?
babies? Infanticide.
I think that's when it's your own child, though. isn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh,
I think it's okay.
when hamsters eat their own young, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Right. I already drive a Kia. I don't need the hamster
Yeah.
allegations.
That's funny. Yeah, so not too much dating for me, and please don't put a baby on me.
Babies are oddly comforting. I love babies. But I have like a goddaughter, and I have like little cousins, and I'm like with them all the time, and like I'm like a really fun. I'm like the fun, like cool, like older cousin.
Yeah, you're
The
dressed
older
like
cousin,
one.
she did.
Yeah. When the kids are older and they can like talk, and I can be like, don't listen to your parents. They're just people.
Yeah.
That's when
Yeah.
that's when I like. That's when the kids are cool. But like baby, like you're a little baby, and like I have to be all like.
I
You
see.
have little gloves on and stuff. Oh, it's scary.
The sharp ass nails.
They have to protect
Yeah,
you from
totally.
yourself. When
Yeah.
you're that young.
You
Yeah.
like them when they're like sturdier.
Yeah, and we can talk about something. If I can talk to you about something, then
Minecraft.
how dare you?
Josh is big into Minecraft.
I play
Oh.
a computer game for a long time. Yeah.
Sue me.
So you can talk to kids.
Yeah,
I can talk to some
you can
kids about
connect.
Minecraft. It's
No,
weird though.
It's a generational thing now.
Yeah,
you
I'm
like
like-
Minecraft? I'm like, we like Roblox, and he's gonna not like them anymore.
He's gonna hate
But
on
the
Roblox.
cool thing about the kids is that you can kind of influence them to like the things that you like if the things that you like are cool. You know what I mean? So like,
So not Minecraft.
You want to smoke this blunt, kids?
yeah. I like playing with Legos and stuff. So Minecraft is like Lego computer game Legos.
Yeah.
but I'm also like a nerd about it, so I like playing a little more technical. Kids don't. I've tried talking. My friend has a kid that plays Minecraft, and it's not like I'm talking to him about I'm playing a different game than he is. You know what I mean?
Okay, you just gotta like listen to him talk about his experience.
He's already upset.
Yeah.
This fool hates listening.
It's
I'm
cute.
like, you don't even know what you're talking about, kid.
They're making sense of the world around them.
Right, yeah.
He's like,
It's
you
cool,
don't even
it's
know
cool.
how redstone works.
So one time,
Nice.
I rented out this space to do a photo shoot, and it was my homie that he was doing a photo shoot for these two rappers from the Valley, and they first of all they were supposed to show up at 4 p.m. but they showed up at 8:30, and they brought a kid with them.
And they brought a kid.
Yeah, and it was a
Rappers.
Wednesday, and it was funny because right before they were leaving, it was like 1:00 in the morning, and then they were like the dad was like, all right, we got to get out of here. This kid has school in the morning. I was like, what the fuck are you doing here in the first place? But
This kid.
yeah, this kid. But dude, I felt so bad for him because like they didn't have anybody to talk to. I was showing him, and this is how old I am. I showed him Adventure Time. He had never seen it. He was like 6 years old.
Did he like
I've
it?
never seen it.
Yeah. I mean, we were like teens when it came out, so it makes sense. But I was like, what do kids like? So I put on Adventure Time.
You were cool, right? You were cool when you were in high school and stuff?
Oh, no. I was like in the musicals on the debate team and
Debate team.
oh yeah, I was on the debate team, Lincoln Douglas, LDE.
Did you become,
Nice.
so you became cool?
Over the years?
Yeah.
Yes, I made myself cool.
Nice.
I was a conscious effort.
I did this. I
So-
did this myself.
You could
Yeah.
use some help then.
Oh.
I'm telling you. I got a lifetime of knowledge.
I'm cool.
Look at my hair.
What the fuck? Wasn't that funny?
Oh my God. Yeah. It was. It was really funny. It was super funny.
I had the opposite happen to me. Well, not like that I chose to, but I was like, oh, I'm autistic. Instead of becoming cool,
You became autistic?
I became neurodivergent.
Are you also autistic?
I think so. It's
Oh, you're like undiagnosed. You're like
yeah.
self-diagnosed.
I'm for sure. I'm like 99% sure I have ADHD, but then also probably autistic.
That co-occurrence, man.
Ryan's not here. Thank God, because then he'll talk about this for 30 minutes.
I miss Ryan.
But he,
I miss Ryan and I
him
wish
back.
you were here.
I do
yeah,
too.
he's sick. He'll be back next week. We'll see him soon.
Feel better soon.
Yeah. No, but he explained to me that like there's like a connection between like autism and ADHD. Like they tend to go together, although not all the time.
Yeah, what was that thing we were talking about earlier?
All-
Not all fools are
all
cholos,
Yeah.
but all cholos are fools.
Yeah.
I self-diagnosed myself as a sociopath.
Nice. Why?
That sounds something a narcissist would do.
That's funny.
With that laugh. The laugh right after is not helping.
Yeah.
But you studied all this stuff too, so you know.
Sociopathy?
Like,
Psychology?
yeah, psychology stuff.
No,
No,
No.
I didn't get any college credits for it.
I don't think I actually don't. I took sociology classes, but I never took like a psychology class.
Okay.
No, I'm lying. I did take a psychology class. Yes, I have studied this.
Okay.
Yeah, but like a class?
Just a class.
Oh,
just
so then
one
it's fine.
class.
What
yeah.
makes you say you're sociopathic?
Oh, I'm just joking. I'm a good person. I feel feelings. I feel bad when I do bad things. I might still do the bad things, but I feel bad about it. That's how I know I'm not a sociopath.
Everything you're saying sounds like a sociopath learned what the things to say are.
I feel feelings. I feel bad. I still do bad things, but I feel bad.
I do.
Got that?
Got it on camera.
So funny.
Yeah.
Wait, so we met like right as you were starting comedy.
Yep, at the Chatterbox.
The Chatterbox.
Covina.
Yeah. So you've been doing it for 2-3 years?
It's like 2 years.
Yeah.
It's 2023 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 going on 3 years. I'm still a baby. I'm still green. I'm
But
still
you've been
new.
crushing it.
Thank you.
So you like started during COVID?
No, right after.
It was like once Chatterbox started doing the open mics again, you know, after the pandemic, in the aftermath, and you know, the tail
Right.
end. Because I was watching on the Instagram and waiting for them to be like, "We're starting up again. We're doing it." Because I did a bunch of research when I realized that I wanted to try stand up. I researched online and I was like following different comics and like the backdrop. I kept seeing the stage, you know, the black and white
Right.
stage. I kept seeing clips all over the place for like different comedians. And so I also saw Chatterbox come up on some lists, like in some online publications about like comedy places, best open mics. So it kept popping up everywhere. And I was like, okay, I firmly believe that like where you go and learn and practice is going to impact your performance and the quality of your work and your art. So I know that there's I had never done a stand-up open mic, but I knew there were probably tons of shitty ones, and I didn't want to go to a shitty one.
Right.
I wanted, if I was going to start, I wanted to go to a good one. And so I went to Chatterbox.
Nice.
And I
Chatterbox is-
met these fine gentlemen.
Yeah.
And then also now Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mala pretty much kicked the doors in when she showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I went up to all of you and I was like, I'm not just some content girly. I'm a comedian.
You didn't say it, but the energy was there for sure.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, because that's how like a lot of us were like, we'll see. We've seen this before. Like, and to your credit, like you made sure you put in all the work, and it's like that was noticed. I was like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank you, Ricky.
Definitely work harder than most of the people doing stand up today.
yeah.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I do feel like I'm better than most stand-ups. Like maybe not like, oh, like I'm the funniest, but I just think that I'm like, I think I'm better than most people.
Yeah. I remember.
And it's not hard to be better than a lot of comics because a lot of comics are trash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The average person doesn't try that hard.
I remember you got booked. It was like your first, like, independent. You got, like, I think it was outside of Chatterbox. It was outside of, like, anybody, like, comedy friends. Like, you got hit up by somebody to do a show. And it was, like, with Robbie Hoffman, Alan Strickland-Williams, River Butcher.
Yeah.
It was, like, and you...
You were there.
Yeah.
You went to the show.
Yeah. But before you were talking to me, like...
And Guy Branum.
Guy Branum, very funny.
That was a
yeah.
good lineup.
Yeah, it was a great lineup, and that was like your first kind of big, like, real comedy show. And you were like, I just don't know if I'm like ready, like if I deserve to be here, or like like second guessing like whether or not you should be there. And I was like, I'm not gonna name any, but I was like, there's open micers that don't question whether or not they deserve to be on any stage, and they fucking suck.
100%. I remember that show, and I remember the feeling of like, I know all of these comics are really, really good and they're heavy hitters and they are brilliant writers, and I've seen all of them. And I think they're all like hilarious. Alan Strickland-Williams, hilarious. Love
Right.
seeing him at Chatterbox. I mean, Robbie Hoffman, hilarious. You know, Guy Branum, all of them. So I'm so new, and I'm like, as far as stand-ups go, like I'm not a name, and I'm not a headliner. And so I don't have a special. And so I'm like, I don't want to bring down the room in between these comics. I don't want to be the weakest one on the lineup because the lineup is so strong.
Yeah.
Oh, but I did great. They loved me.
Yeah,
I had a
you
really,
did.
really good set. And what I love is then seeing those comics and like, you know, seeing them laugh at my stuff, you know, which is always cool. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was a good show. That was a fun show.
Yeah, I used to have like a thing about like it's like a weird thing with comedy, like those like that thought process. I remember it was like, I was like my first year in, and Ryan and I used to do this show called Friends with Benefits. And we would book, you know, when people start doing comedy and they start booking shows, they're reaching out to everybody and they're like trying to get the good names, you know, and people that they think are hilarious. So we were getting a bunch of people that like were super respected. And I was talking to my friend Jean, and she was like, oh, everybody had such a good time, and they're all talking about like it's so cool that like you're. It was called Friends with Benefits, and we would donate money to like different charitable organizations. And so she's like, you're doing this thing, and everybody's saying like we need shows like this with more women and more, diversity and stuff. And she went on this whole thing about how much people like me, and then I was like, yeah, but do they think I'm funny though?
The only thing that matters.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we want to hear.
Dude, I was explaining to Josh, because Josh started doing stand-up recently, and there was the thing about like sometimes as a comic, people will ask your opinion on somebody for a show, like if they book shows, and they're like, oh, what do you think of so-and-so? And you'll be like, they're such a nice person.
Yeah. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
But Josh has been doing very well. I've seen you at Chatterbox.
Oh, yeah.
And you got big laughs.
That's what I hear.
Great writer. That's what you hear is the laughter on stage.
You crushed, low key.
Hear that?
You crushed.
I did. I'm agreeing. I didn't say you were bad. I said you're good.
I know. But you act differently now.
One time I did a show with Ricky and Steven Moreno and Ryan. It was the five of us, and this other guy, and it was like in somebody's house. Like they were, you remember it was like in the Inland Empire. And it was a house show, and we all went up and we were all crushing it. Like just it was for a punk house. So like these people are used to seeing music, and like they don't go to comedy shows, and like they're nervous by stand up, so we all go up and we're all doing well, and then this one guy goes up and he's just bombing the whole time, and it was like silent, and we're in the kitchen like and then Steven Moreno comes up to me and goes, he's such a nice guy.
I love Steven Moreno.
Yeah, he's very funny.
He's great.
Steven Moreno.
He's working hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's hilarious. I love his physicality on stage.
Yeah.
He's like very physically funny, and it really heightens what he's doing. And I like the way he manipulates his voice, and his writing is great. He's like a character. Yeah, he works hard, and he's very talented. I love watching Ryan. Ryan is one of my favorite comedians to watch.
Yeah. I had to change my name because of that fool. That's how funny Ryan is.
You were like living in his shadow.
Oh, you're his brother.
Oh, you're Ryan's brother.
Yeah, worse than such a nice guy. That's his brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that to Ben Avery one time.
Oh, really?
At the Chatterbox. Because we were just hanging out. He introduced himself to me, and I was like, oh, you're Jace's brother. Mm-hmm. And he was like, yeah, I love that introduction. Yeah.
Who else? Oh, you know who I like? I like Phil Morris. The one with the guitar and the speaker. Yeah, he has me rolling.
Dude, yeah.
On the floor, rolling on the floor.
It always happens where like you don't go to Chatterbox for a couple months or weeks or however, like you take a break from Chatterbox and then you come back and there's like a couple new people. Yeah. And then Phil Morris was one of those people where he came back, or he was there when I had come back, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, I thought he was already like a fucking headliner. He has
that energy, and his act is so together.
Yeah. Yeah, he's on top of things. And the music, he does musical comedy, which is so hard to get done like right and funny.
But he also has amazing physicality. He gets like really into character, and he's running around and dancing and jumping and doing act outs. He's great.
His Jackknife Skinner bit.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to watch it.
Steven Moreno, his crowd.
Phil.
Oh, I was thinking of Phil Morris's crowd work songs. Like,
oh, yes.
There's a crowd work song that's really, really good. But Steven Moreno, I remember, I think it was the first time I went up it was one of the first times I went up at Chatterbox, and I saw Steven Moreno like destroy crushed, and I think he got set of the night back when they used to do that. And so that from then on, I was like, oh fuck, Steven Moreno is like that. The first time that I went there, it was like the perfect night for me to go because everybody was on fire. So like, but I remember he was a standout. He did the super trendy dad bit.
Oh yeah.
Super, yeah. I can't. He does a bunch of one-liners, so it's like I don't want to give away his bits.
No, Steven's great. Who else? I mean, obviously a huge fan of Stevana Delgado. Shout out Stevana, killing it. I think she's one of the funniest people alive.
The last time I saw her, I had seen like she did Chatterbox recently.
Hell yeah.
And I told her, I was like, this is the best set that I've ever seen you do. Like
Love
she's
that.
on a level right now.
Hell yeah.
She's on a tear.
She works really hard too. She's like loves stand up and she's very dedicated.
She works hard on social media in general. She be posting.
Yeah.
Follow
She's
Stevana
crazy about her
Delgado.
content, yeah.
A little guru.
Yeah, she's great. She's great. She's a baddie. Also, another one that I'm loving, Gigi Garcia.
Oh yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Gigi's funny.
Gigi, friend of the pod.
Gigi's killing it. Great writing, great personality, great stage presence, great delivery. Yeah, she's dope.
You've been getting a little bit of guidance from Marcella.
Shout out Marcella Arguello. So Marcella, for my 30th birthday, I took all my friends to a Women Crush Wednesdays show at the Hollywood Improv.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, just starting to get into stand-up, And one day Marcella announces that she's doing her last Women Crush Wednesdays at the Hollywood Improv.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, in my mind, I remember thinking, I have to go. I got to go to this. I've gone to this show. I love this show. This is the last one. And I just went and like sat in the back, in the lab, there's like that little back bar and the comics go sit back there. I just sat in the back. And then Marcella asked me if I would do 5 minutes. And I wasn't on the lineup. She just asked me if I would do 5. And I was prepared to do 5. And I'm like, hell yeah. And it was a good set. It was a really fun room. I was really happy with my set. And then a few days later, she told me that I had earned a spot on the lineup for her Women Crush Wednesdays at the Ford. So then that's how she booked me on the Ford. I performed at the Ford. I had a really, really great set. I was so happy with my set. I was so happy with my performance. I feel like I crushed low-key. And then after that, she had me host for her. She was headlining the State Theater in Modesto, so I went with her. She was headlining in her hometown, so it was like really an honor. Then she was headlining the Hollywood Improv in the main room, and she had me host that show as well.
That's great.
So Marcella, it's been like a wild year for me for stand-up, and Marcella has had a lot to do with it. So shout out Marcella.
She's
Love ya. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
I think, and a lot of your comedians' favorite comedian is Marcella Arguello.
Yeah, I hesitate to compare her to anyone because it undersells her so much because she's truly her own. But like for people to put it into context, she has like I was thinking about this earlier. Like she reminds me of Patrice O'Neill a lot, of like just like very well written, perfect timing, like high energy jokes. She's just like an absolute killer.
Yeah, and I love her too. I love watching her. She adds a lot of music into her act. Like she will sing, and the thing is Marcella can sing. So she's being funny, but she's actually hitting notes, and she's not flat.
Oh shit.
Like she's on key, and she can like she can do a Mariah Carey impersonation, and she can like impersonate the whistle register. Like, you know what I mean? And she's making a joke out of it and getting big laughs. And it's an impersonation, but it's literally Mariah Carey. You know what I mean? So she's very talented and I think really innovative in that way.
And you kind of knew her before you started doing comedy, right? A little bit?
Yeah, like she had gone to Locatora Live, a podcast party, like one of the first times we did it at Civic Center Studios in downtown LA. And like Cumbiaton, these parties, like this little like Latina creative community where there's a lot of like events and shows and parties. So like I had gone to her shows just as an audience member. She had gone to my podcast party at one point. We'd had seen each other at just events and parties and things like that. 'Cause Marcella loves to dance. I love to dance, et cetera, et cetera.
And that's something that is really interesting learning from you. Like, cause that's kind of how you started Locatora Radio. And like, I'm like, you and Diosa have like really strong network game. Like I feel like you've been kind of part of these like online social circles for a long, like every time you're somewhere and we're hanging out, like somebody comes up to you, like somebody recognizes you, or even like at your events, like we were at your housewarming, which beautiful.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Oh, you guys were all there.
Yeah,
you
we
guys
were
were
all
all there.
there.
It was so fun. Yes, I had a housewarming. I had a soiree, and I had a 5-piece jazz band playing. Nightshade Navarro y Los Salvajes.
That was dope.
It was they're really really good. They're from San
they're really
Diego.
good. I followed them.
Yeah.
They're great. The only time I've had a 5-piece is at KFC.
That's what I'm here for. I'm just trying to elevate. I'm trying to bring some culture. You know what I mean? That's my role here.
But yeah, everybody at the housewarming was like, shout out Ray. What's his Arachia?
Yeah. Ray Archila, who is director, filmmaker, photographer.
His girlfriend also, I forget her name. It escapes me, Bree. But talented artist. Everybody there was just like somebody's doing something awesome.
Yeah, lots of comics, other podcasters, some journalists, like stylists, et cetera. Us, you guys.
Us.
You know,
I felt like a
and us.
socialite.
It did feel like
it really.
it felt like and us. Like
Yeah. 'Cause there's a moment where I'm just sitting there with my girlfriend Christina, and I look around and I'm like, oh, this is a thing. Like it's not just any housewarming. This is cool.
Yes, a soiree, a true soiree.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, I consider you guys, you guys are colleagues, we're fellow artists, fellow creatives. And I really love and valuable my stand-up comedy community. And I feel very, I'm happy that I found it. I'm happy that I like went and got started and like met everybody. And I think it's really added a big, like new shiny dimension to my life. And I recently got accepted to grad school.
ooh.
For a film. Thank you. I'm not going to say exactly where, but I'm going to go study film and I'm going to get my master's degree. But stand up was like a big part of my creative portfolio. Like all my shows, any like little comedic, like, short form content I've done, or like short films that I've like written or acted in, like that was all part of it. And Chatterbox, made its way into my portfolio as well. And when I had my interview with like the professor about my application, I was like making him laugh the whole interview. And I really feel like it has an impact,
Yeah.
And they have a comedy concentration at the film school. So I'm like, they see the value in like the ability to write a joke, deliver a joke, and make somebody laugh, which I appreciate. So, yep. I love stand-up. Happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. Constantly crushing it.
Yeah.
And I feel like every time I see you, you're like, yeah, I'm doing this, and I just got back from Machu Picchu, and I'm going to New York for the weekend.
And Papas is happy.
And Papas is chilling, But enough about me.
You're our guest.
You're the guest.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I have to carry the episode. Well, something else that did happen recently, we were talking about this in the car on the way over here. So I'm like trying to figure out a way how to like really talk about this on stage, because I think it could be funny, but I'm like not sure how, right? So I like, I used to live at home and I moved out, and almost immediately after I moved out, my grandpa died. And I was in Machu Picchu when I got the news. Like we hiked to Machu Picchu, and then once I had reception, and it was like a 6-8 hour hike, like it was grueling, it was rigorous up in the mountains. I'm getting eaten up by mosquitoes. And then once I get reception, I like get the news that like unexpectedly my grandfather had passed away.
You're on the top of a temple?
Yeah, I'm at Machu Picchu, like at the top of a mountain.
Yeah, their architecture was really interesting back then. They had irrigation and Wi-Fi.
They were planning ahead.
Did they do it or did the aliens do it?
I mean, the Wi-Fi, yeah.
So then I get home and we're like making funeral arrangements or whatever. And my mom is like, she's like, oh, good news. I think I'm going to get his leg back. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, we believe there was an amputation. He passed, and like Kaiser has his leg. And I'm like, why? Like who, where? Like, what are they doing with it? Like, and she's like, no, but I've been talking to them and I think we're going to get it back. And I'm like, why do you even have to ask? Like, why is this even a thing? Right.
Healthcare,
It's nuts. So anyways, then one day she's like, oh, good news. I got the leg back. And for us, because we're Catholics, it's like, oh, because we want him to be in one piece, you know, like that's Bible, like that's scripture and stuff. Like the way that you were brought into this world is how you should leave, in one piece, intact, whole. And that was like the whole point of it. So we're so happy. And then we realized that his final wish was to be cremated and scattered in the ocean into a million fucking pieces.
So you have to
Like,
like
it saved you a lot of the trouble.
It's like Kaiser could have just kept the leg and put it in the hyperbaric chamber. We could like visit it.
it'd be funny if you didn't cremate all of them and you just had the leg.
We
So you're
just-
just scattering the ashes and then you just drop a leg in the ocean.
You should have made it into the lamp.
Oh,
From
like a
Christmas-
Christmas story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the
That's
stockings.
terrible.
That is terrible.
That's bad.
That's terrible, Dominic.
No, it'll be like a high sock and loafer.
Oh, that's a house shoe? That'd
Yeah,
be
yeah,
hilarious.
house shoe.
Yeah, man. But yeah, like, what was why was Kaiser holding on to this like old Puerto Rican leg?
What are they
You know,
doing
just
with
one,
legs?
not even the full set, just the one. You know. So, anyways, I don't know. Is that funny?
I think, well, you're asking comics, so.
I think the scattering into the ocean part, because that is really what happened. And then my mom was like, "Well, all that for why did I do?" You know what I mean? And then he was from Puerto Rico, so not only did he want his ashes scattered in the ocean, but he wanted them half in Puerto Rico and half like in Marina del Rey.
It's so
For the tax write-off.
He's like, do it in front of Logan Paul's beach.
So yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. That's what's happening recently, also. That's new.
What do you think you want? Would you like your remains to be treated?
Oh no. I want like an obelisk. Like I want you know how people build temples basically around their caskets?
Uh-huh.
That's what I want. I want a monument essentially.
Nice.
Yeah, and I want like a big like Baroque like medieval like Catholic Gothic sending off with like women in veils and people sobbing and speaking. Like I want like the full theatrics. I want the full ceremony. I want a priest. I want all of it. I want a viewing. I want an open casket. I want like 9 days of the rosary, but people need to be standing up and it needs to be in Spanish. Like I want the whole thing. You're going to mourn me. You're going to mourn my fucking passing.
Pre-sales on Friday.
This is all legally binding.
You can buy tickets to my funeral. Anyways.
How about you?
Those are my dreams.
remains. I want to do a tree. I want to do a green burial. I would like to be turned into some type of, not turned into, but I would like either a tree or a garden.
Fertilizer, basically.
Yeah, fertilizer.
That's a thing. That's what you're talking about. Where
Yeah,
they put
yeah.
you in a bag. They put your naked body in a bag and bury you.
Yeah, they put you in a canvas bag.
Mm-hmm.
They put you in this bag that looks like you're in a womb.
Fetal.
Yeah, fetal position. This is the whole thing.
Seems like a business made up by like guys in the mob. They're like we just bury him in the trees. I don't know.
it's green burials.
Green burials.
Nothing sketchy going on here.
I would like to be made into a tea, some type of thing.
To be drinking?
No, like a garden.
Oh, I get what you're saying. That's gross.
Oh no, wait. Actually, I changed my mind. Now that you say that, bury me under a weed grow.
Oh, that's cool.
Grow weed
Oh,
on my body.
Ooh, and then your friends can smoke
They
you.
can smoke me.
Yeah, but what kind of weed would you be? Indica or sativa?
A sativa for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
At a good California sativa. Hell yeah.
How about you?
I used to think like cremation is like a good default for me,
Mm-hmm.
but have you ever seen a sky burial? It's
What?
like
It's
what they,
opposite of
it's
a
like what they
burial.
do with I think like Buddhist monks in Nepal or something. I think it was Nepal or something, where they kind of just offer up your body to
Oh, yeah.
to like eagles and shit, and they
They-
just like kind of
They put you out on like a mountain, and there's like just like an open area, and they kind of have like the ceremony, but then they kind of just lay you out there and like let animals come and like feed on your body.
Dang.
It's pretty metal.
Yeah, that is pretty metal.
Because I was like, yeah, just cremate me. Like, I don't see the point in like putting my body in the ground. And then I saw the sky burial, and I'm like, put me in the sky for sure.
I'm so during the quarantine, I had a whole existential crisis, mental breakdown, and I started getting really into like listening to death podcasts, reading about death, studying death and stuff like that. So that was like a big thing for me for a while. So that I've been very big into getting like into like the aspect of like being part of nature or like returning to earth kind of a thing.
You're already on Earth.
Returning to Earth.
What is your problem?
Josh, how would you like your remains to be handled?
I don't ever want to die. I just want my organs to be kept alive on some machine or something forever till they figure out how to cure it.
That sounds like hell to me.
I mean,
An iron lung.
things
like
are
an iron
looking
lung.
good for you. Your genetics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, your
Yeah,
family
I
lasts
got-
forever.
They last forever.
I got one old lady, but the men don't live long.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, the men don't make it to 70, but my grandma's 109.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Super
Yeah.
duper old lady.
Good for her.
I essentially want to live like that though, just forever, just never die. She looks like a vampire.
Oh shit.
Is she
Crazy.
conscious? Is she conscious?
Yeah.
You think like she's
Yeah.
aware of her
She's still
surroundings?
driving.
No, my other grandma does though. She's like 87.
Yeah, they don't stop until like they have to. They keep going. My grandma just recently kind of stopped driving, but she was out here in these streets. It was kind of scary.
It's pretty scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably can only drive for like 3 more years.
I
yeah, you're
hate getting in
blind.
the car with you today.
You're like you squint so hard. Poor thing.
I got us here.
Yeah, you did. In one piece, you got us here live. I had an Uber driver the other day. He was like this old white man, and he was talking about how he thinks pasteurized milk is a scam, so he only drinks raw milk.
Mm-hmm.
And he had these really thick glasses. And then to check his GPS, he pulled out a magnifying glass. He was looking at his GPS with a magnifying glass.
Don't you love when people are concerned about the exact wrong thing?
He's like, I only drink raw milk. He can't fucking see for shit.
But yeah, I basically never want to die.
Okay, I think that's reasonable.
I told my parents, just keep me alive forever. If I'm unconscious, that's fine. I want to be a burden.
Don't
That's
pull the
assuming
plug.
that they're
Don't
gonna
pull the plug.
be alive to take care of you.
Right.
But
yeah.
if he is, they better feel it.
Do you
I
have
don't
a
care.
younger sibling?
Yeah, I do have a younger sibling.
Okay.
And she better keep me alive, dude. Fucking keep me alive, dude. I told my parents that if it was them, that I'm going to unplug everything in the hospital room.
Plug it into me.
Just to make sure.
Unplug everything. I can't afford this. I have to save all this money for when I need it.
I think we found the real sociopath.
That's why I was asking why you thought you were a sociopath. I was like, what are
He's
some
like,
things?
that sounds
Let me
familiar.
compare notes.
But yeah, when I heard about the like cryogenic freezing thing where people like cutting their heads off and freezing them in a freezer so that they can
Oh
like,
yeah.
bring
People are
themselves
doing
back.
that now. They have an option where they could keep your whole body or just your torso.
You're
Right.
kidding.
No.
You know, it's a thing because they're like
One day there's going to be a cure for whatever the thing is that you're dying from, and
Yeah.
then they'll be able to like fix you,
yeah.
and then you'll be able to live.
You know, it's funny if it never happens and they have to defrost them and they still do a sky burial and they're like, I hate the pre-frozen ones.
That's right.
The Eagles are like, it's what we got today. It's a hot
We
pocket.
just default sky burial.
Can't have filet mignon every night. So before we get out of here, for the people that don't know, we made it this far. Mala is, like I said at the top, podcast royalty. You've been doing Locatora Radio for coming on 9 years.
Yeah, we're in our 8th season. We're entering our 9th season. We started in 2016.
Right. And you were kind of like one of the like very early first movers in like the Latina podcast space. Like you're one of the first to like get traction.
Yeah, it's very true. That is a fact. There were a lot of podcasts that were like indie podcasts, right? Always in the indie space. Only until recently when we signed with iHeart with the My Cultura Podcast Network. But before that, there was a number of like indie Latino podcasts, like really good ones that I love that we all listen to. But of them, we're like one of the only ones that's still going. which, you know, we pride ourselves on that because we consider ourselves to be an audio archive. So it like behooves us to go for as long as possible because then the archive is like more complete.
Right.
The longer we go, you know.
Is your co-host Diosa, is she, because you guys are very good, you're not journalists. I know you always make it very clear.
I'm not a journalist.
You're not a journalist.
But Diosa literally got her degree in audio journalism and specialized journalism from USC.
Oh, okay.
So she has a master's degree in journalism.
That's what I was going to ask, because Josh and I went to go record with you last week, and at the end of it, we were both like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah.
you guys phenomenal, like, at podcasting.
Thank you. Thank you. We've been at it for some time. And one of the things is like, we both went like to college, and when we graduated, it was very soon after we graduated that we started podcasting. And it was also entering into Trump years.
Right.
So those things, we've always been sort of like very like academic. And so, you know, we love to have a little bit of research. We love a little analysis. We love a little history and theory and context setting. And we love a good interview, such and such and such. So that's sort of like, Locatora is this cross between, it's a chat cast, it's a little funny sometimes, and there's, you know, light journalism. But it's just us. We have an audio editor. We don't have like fact checkers or a research team, like some of the big shows, like at the big networks and stuff, like the hardcore journalism. But, you know, we do our research.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like you guys do really well, like really good research, and also are good at just like kind of unboxing it, like unpackaging it for the audience. It's also just like you are sharing your thoughts on whatever you just read. It's like a commentary, like a news commentary.
Yes,
show.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's accurate.
So how do you feel? Because you have built a pretty strong following of like Latinas, Latinos. Do you feel any type of way about being like kind of a public figure, like a public Latina, like for the culture?
It's interesting because, you know, I think like I'm like so one of those people that like I kind of like reject that a little bit. You know, I'm like, bruh, like sometimes I think we go really far with this whole like, you have a public figure, you're an influencer, you have a platform. You know, it's like I'm making podcasts, like I didn't run for office. I didn't give you any campaign promises. You know, like I'm not a representative. I'm just a person, you know? And I think that we all have jobs and we all contribute differently. And this is just my job, you know?
Right.
It's not, I don't like doing like, I don't like to like knight myself or like self-anoint myself or self-appoint myself. You know, oh, I'm a leader in the community. Like, I don't like doing all of that, me personally.
Right.
Although I do, you know, there are responsibilities, but and like ethics and like, you know, but that's true of any job, of any position, you know, with responsibility and people that you're answering to and the people that pay your checks. You know what I mean? I love and appreciate the audience, but I'm always very clear, like, my audience is my audience, but my audience is not necessarily my community or my friends.
Right.
You know, I'm like, this is church and state and this is work, you know? I don't like to be too like, oh, like this is like, you know what I mean? I try to keep things realistic. I try to be a little humble in that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially that you've been doing it for so long. Like, the boundaries are super important between you and the audience. Some people can get carried away.
People can get carried away, and then it's funny because I've had people tell me, and Dios has been with me, and we've heard this from people. Once we had this woman who was a listener, very accomplished in her field, a professional. I don't want to get too specific, but you know, killing it. And she made a statement to us. She said literally, she's like, I have to confess to you guys that I'm a big fan and I listen and I follow, but I do harbor some feelings of jealousy towards you, like at the attention you get or the headlines you get or the press for what it is that you do. And so that was fascinating because I know that those feelings exist maybe out there, but this person was very blunt and she was like, I feel jealous of you guys. You know what I mean? We've also had people, you know, it's very common because we've been sharing so much for so many years. So they know a lot about us, but I don't know anything about them.
Right.
Because they're strangers.
Right.
But they know years worth of my
Yeah.
life details. And I've had people tell me like, I feel like we're friends already.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know you.
That's actually something I realized when I like introduced myself to the boys, because I was like, oh, I've watched your episodes. Like I've listened to you guys talk about things. I know about you, and you guys, and I'm like, oh, I'm comfortable, but you guys don't know anything about me.
It's been a long year getting to know Josh. Josh and I are great friends. I love Josh.
Yeah, I like you guys together. I think this is great. I think you guys
Thank
have a
you.
good vibe and a good thing. I think Josh has been like a fun new addition, you know what I mean, to the whole
I think so too.
the universe.
Finally, somebody saying that.
Josh is here to push people's buttons, and he's here to offer up. The thing is, okay, this is getting into something because Josh would often look. We're very progressive, and we speak very passionately about stuff, and we tend to have a lot of like-minded people on the podcast. And Josh is not like
Minded.
Josh likes to get people to stand on their beliefs. And like if they're going to have an opinion, he wants them to back it up. So he'll often challenge what we have to say. And some people take that as him
Challenging them. Yeah.
personally. So
When really I'm just saying like, do you really believe in all these things you're passionate about?
yeah.
That's a fair thing.
But it's super fair because it's so easy. And I do have to check myself sometimes in it of like, am I taking the stance that I know is the like will be seen positively, or is it something that I really believe in? So then I have to make sure for myself. But it's just really funny because people think that Josh is like we did give him the nickname Josh the American.
Yeah.
You did bring that on yourself though.
I mean, he asked me where I was from, and I said America.
But that's such
But
like
you said it like this. You said, I'm American.
and only an American would say that.
I mean, we're all American here.
Yeah. But I feel like the types that you usually bring on, and it's all we're like, we love social justice and we're POC. You know what I mean? And
Right.
that's great.
Not
And it's
everyone's like that, but for the most part, I mean,
Yeah.
it's California.
and that's me too, and that's my audience, and that's who we are. Like that's who the fuck we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we don't lead ever with America first. America's always last with us.
Right.
We lead with Mexico or Ecuador,
He's both.
Peru, what have you,
Yes.
Yeah.
DR, what have you, Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
I like America.
But you are.
I like this place. I hate the government. I hate the government.
I hate America.
But yeah, I know what you. Yeah, I know what
So
you.
this place is great.
I'm
Look at
kidding.
us.
Look at us. Look at us. Look at us.
Entrepreneurs.
I love California. I love Los Angeles. Like,
Oh,
what's
yeah.
better than here? You know what I mean?
Oh, seriously. I go out to other states, and I hate it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not all of America. It's California.
Yeah, I really like this place. But America allows California to exist.
California could also exist without America. Fourth largest economy. We could secede. We could break off physically from the continent and float into the ocean, and we would be okay.
That'd be tight.
I don't want
San
to do
Andreas.
San Andreas. We can grow our own food. We can make our own electricity. We make our own movies.
that.
We
Sounds
don't
like
need
we're
them.
adding like an hour onto my Vegas trip that I don't feel like dealing with.
With the border check.
Now I got to go through a border check.
If I have to take a boat to Las Vegas. Yeah, man.
You're more concerned with the inconvenience of everything.
I even hate slowing down for that one place where they're supposed to stop you, but they never do on the way back.
Dude, I fucking hate that
I
shit so
do too.
much.
I get all nervous.
Why is it here?
Yeah, just to make me nervous when I'm smoking weed on my way back. And I'm like, fuck.
I was driving back some friends one time, and I was like, fuck, I don't have my ID. You're going to have to jump over, Kevin.
What? And they just wave you through?
Yeah, they're just like,
That's an insane thing to do.
yeah.
I have like a question.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing crazy, but it's like clearly we touched on like you working really hard in general, but specifically in comedy. And despite being confident, there's moments where you're going to be like doubting everything.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Do you get stuck in that at all? Do you get stuck in that feeling of like, oh, who do I think I am? What am I doing?
Totally.
Like, how do you let yourself sit in it, or do you just kind of push past that pretty quickly?
You know what? Sometimes if I have a real bad set, if I have a bomb, like if I bomb at the open mic at Chatterbox, it like makes me like scared and I stay away for a little bit. like Chatterbox specifically.
Yeah.
Other places, shows, I don't give a fuck. Who cares? You know, bombing can be funny. You know, it's like, oh, they fucking hated that.
I know, because we were talking about it earlier.
This is a thing, you know what I mean? But sometimes I feel a little wounded and I'll go hide for a little bit or go do something else until I get my strength up again. But also, part of me, like, I've done different things like musicals and theater and dancing and choir ever since I was a kid. And fucking up is a big part of it. Like, you fuck up and you just learn, like, who cares? Everybody fucks. Everybody's terrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do hide for a little bit. Yeah.
It probably feels different when you wrote the musical, though, right?
You're hitting yourself with the music sheets. You're like, stupid.
Yeah. The good thing though about comedy is like, oh, it's just 5 minutes of trash as opposed to like
For sure.
2 hours of trash.
Right.
A
Yeah.
year of work, just trash,
yeah,
just
yeah.
garbage or more. Yeah.
We have 60 shows.
I feel like right now the only time I ever feel like that is when new jokes don't come. Like when I'm like in a writing rut and I'm like, maybe that's it for me. Maybe I'm done.
I feel you.
That's happened to me before because I write songs and stuff. And so, like, I've been, like, sitting at the keyboard and just nothing. And I'm like, man, music really is a young man's game. I guess.
Yeah, especially now that I'm in my 30s and I'll see young people like
Having no problem doing things with ease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, why am I even trying? But then also they have nothing to say and they're like kind of boring to
They're
listen
empty.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But don't stop trying.
Never stop. Never stopping.
Yeah.
Or
You'll
do.
surprise yourself.
Or give up.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Sometimes it's good to give up, actually. Sometimes you need to give up things.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes some things are just better, like, actually put it down. And it's about knowing what things to put down.
I've
I think.
seen comics that did that and are happier and they quit. And I've seen people that refuse to quit that I would want my friends to make me stop. I wouldn't want to become that.
Just like enough. It's enough.
Yeah.
Letting go is a big part of growth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
It's time to let go of this episode.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mala, for being here. Always a pleasure. You're doing so much. You're crushing it. Do you have anything you want to plug while you're here?
Tune in to Locatora Radio on the iHeartRadio app. And I have another show, my solo show, Marihuanera, a podcast for potheads. I haven't put out an episode in a few months, but start from season 1, episode 1. It's great. Also, I'm going to be at SF Sketch Fest.
Ooh.
Yes, I'll be performing 2 nights, January 20th and 21st. Go on the website,
That's
SF
what's up.
Sketch Fest.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Nice.
Yeah,
Hell
I'm
yeah.
excited. And that's it.
Cool. If you made it this far, let us know how do you want your remains to be treated after you die?
It's going to be a weird ass comment section.
And from us at Poquito Podcast.
Don't try.